Is it all jumping as you see in like the movies, like big jumping still on the moon?
On the moon,
at least,
yes,
anyway.
yes. If you've ever seen any footage from the Apollo moonwalks where they're boing, 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 yeah, it's 1/6 gravity, yeah. So just enough gravity, but you're still gonna bounce considerably.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you from somewhere in New Zealand, it's the YouTube show with Dave Benson.
Welcome back, it's Monday. Welcome back to the Dave Benson Show, the only talk show where the budget is so low, even a laugh track walked out on us. Now, I know what you're thinking, I know what you're thinking. Dave, how do you keep pulling off this show week after week? It's simple. Pure determination, a dodgy internet connection, and the fact that Netflix still hasn't returned my call. I've been reflecting lately. Talk shows used to have the big city skylines in the background. You know, the one with the interactive lights. New York, LA. What do I have? A suspicious looking curtain and the faint sound of my kids arguing over who stole the last biscuit. Honestly, I don't even need an audience. I've got live heckles in my house. This week I tried something radical. You ready? Meal prep. Yep, you get it. I thought I was joining the health crowd. Turns out all I did was spend Sunday afternoon putting identical sadness into Tupperware. 6 days of chicken and rice. By Thursday I was Googling, is ketchup a vegetable? And don't even ask me about the exercise. Don't. Just don't go there. I tried running. You know, try to give it a go. It's been a while, but you know it's bad when you open the fitness app and it says, "Are you lost?" But hey, YouTube Shorts are blowing up right now. People are getting millions of views for 12 seconds of effort. Meanwhile, I put together a full episode, pour my heart and soul into it, and the algorithm pats me on the head like, "Good try, champ." And podcasts. Spotify keeps dropping huge money on exclusives. I pitched them mine, and they said, "We're looking for someone with listeners." Fair enough, Spotify, fair enough. Anyway, forget them. You're here. I'm here, and together we're about to have a conversation that proves you don't need Hollywood magic when you've got honesty and a New Zealander with a microphone. Let's kick into the YouTube news. YouTube rolled out a brand new feature called, can you guess it? The hype button. Fans can now hype up their favourite small creator up to 3 times a week, pushing them onto a special leaderboard. They're even testing paid hypes in a couple of countries, because apparently likes just weren't expensive enough. This week also brought backlash when creators noticed that AI was secretly enhancing their shorts. The system was sharpening their footage without warning, wiping things out like VHS grain and custom effects. Creators weren't impressed to the point that one said it made their video look like an oil painting filter from 2008. Meanwhile, YouTube also began rolling out its AI age verification system. Now, this is just in the US. The algorithm tries to guess if you're under 18 based on your viewing habits. If it thinks you're a teenager, you'll suddenly find ads turned off, videos restricted, and a message telling you to upload your driving license. What a pain. And of course, Mr. Beast is making headlines again. Not for giving away millions, but for complaining about his ranking on Rolling Stone's most influential creators list. They put him in at number 7, just below comedian Caleb Heron. Mr. Beast vented about it on X and then quietly deleted his post and went about his day. As for trends, the top YouTube search in the US right now is ASMR. That's 33 million people a month typing it in. Apparently nothing calms the soul quite like the sound of someone whispering into a $400 microphone. Let's go over to the podcast news. Over in podcast land, Spotify just added DMs, so you can now send songs, playlists, podcasts directly to your friends without leaving the app. Now this is perfect because if there's one thing this world was missing was another inbox to ignore. Apple Podcasts released its first ever Best So Far 2025 list, highlighting the year's most compelling new shows. It's basically a giant cheat sheet for anyone tired of doom scrolling and looking for something actually worth listening to. Nick Cannon's also back with a new show, a late-night style podcast called Nick Cannon at Night. It's got dating advice, live audience Q&A, and plenty of candid talk. Considering Nick's track record, let's just say he's got more than enough material. And finally, Joe Rogan surprised people when he openly admitted that there's no evidence the 2020 election was stolen, contradicting one of Trump's favourite claims. Love him or hate him, when Rogan is the one fact-checking conspiracy theories, you know podcasting has officially taken a strange turn. So that's the state of the internet this week. YouTube wants you to pay for enthusiasm, Spotify wants to be your new group chat, and Joe Rogan suddenly wants to be the fact-checker. What a time to be alive, eh? But enough about algorithms and AI filters. Today's guest is someone truly out of this world. She's a brilliant voiceover actress whose talent brings characters to life, and she's also works at NASA. Yeah, you heard that right. She's basically balancing performance and science. Let's go and see her. Roll the titles!
I said I wanna see the Dave Benson Show, and I can't stop and never gonna let it go. I said I wanna see the Dave Benson Show, and I can't stop and never gonna let it go.
Our next guest is a powerhouse voice actress whose talent has earned her a One Voice Award nomination, and her vocal range spans from TV, commercials to e-learning, podcasts and more. She's also built her attention to detail working as a NASA engineer, and her clients on Voice 123 rave about her stellar work, quick turnaround and top-notch performance. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Eryn Andrews. Eryn, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for that lovely introduction.
Oh, you're welcome. Whereabouts are you in the world?
So I'm based in Houston, Texas.
And it's a Thursday night in Houston,
It is,
Texas.
yep.
So I'm on a Friday afternoon already. So
Tell me how that Friday is going, because I'm really looking forward to that. Please tell me that's coming my way too.
It's cold and wintry.
Oh,
that's
right.
all I can say.
Oh no, please send me that. It's hot.
You are absolutely fascinating.
Thank
So I
you.
want to talk about little Eryn. When you were a child, did you want to be an astronaut, a space engineer? What was or was it an actress?
Yeah, so I'm a child of a military family, and we moved around a lot of different places growing up. And one of the places we ended up was at Cape Canaveral, Florida, back in the mid-90s. And my parents took my sister and I out to watch the shuttle launches many times. We lived so close to the launch pad. I like to joke they were practically launching out of my backyard. So it was easy to catch them. And of course, going to school there, you're forever taking field trips to the Space Center, and you're watching all these documentaries about what it's like to be an astronaut and floating and playing with their food in space. And as a kid, who doesn't love that? And I was hooked at a young age. I said, I want to be an astronaut when I grow up. And that was the focus of my studies, my passion, my drive, all through the rest of my education, and then into college. And then as soon as I got out of college, I started firing my resume at anything NASA. I didn't care what you wanted me to do. I will fetch coffee if that's all the job is. Just I have to work at NASA, and I got to work on being an astronaut. And so, yeah, that's how that started. And I'm proud to say that while I'm not an astronaut yet, have applied many times. I get to work alongside the astronauts. I get to do a lot of the same things the astronauts do, so very vicarious experiences. And it's been an awesome ride. And then the voice actor thing really was relatively new. This just came about, 3-4 years ago now. I'm a person who loves to learn, and I'm always picking up fun new hobbies and interests. And I just kind of got that itch one day. I was like, I just really want to learn something new that could make, maybe some fun money on the side. And just have a little extra scratch. What could I do? And I was looking around for inspiration, and on the list of many things that popped up, voice acting suddenly popped up in a list of results. And I remembered I had met an acquaintance who makes his entire living voice acting. And I got to thinking, that could fit my lifestyle really well. I've been told I've got a great recording voice. And so it was one of those like, why not? Let's just try it and see what happens moments. He gave me some great beginner's resources, and I discovered a passion I did not know was there, because here I am focused on NASA. I'm passionate about space and science and engineering. And then I get into this, and all of a sudden, it's the acting, it's the creativity, it's working the other side of the brain, and I just fell in love with it. And I thought, this is amazing. And so I get to go and do this awesome, cool thing 9 to 5, and then I can come back at night in my booth, and I can work that creative side, and I get to have that outlet, and it's so much fun, especially when I get character work to get to play that. And it's been a really fun adventure and a neat new balance to my personality that I had no idea existed.
So what kind of engineer are you at NASA?
So I specialize in spacewalking. So I spent the better part of a decade teaching astronauts how to spacewalk. So I am an expert on the spacesuit itself. I know every screw and nut and bolt and what it can do, what it can't do, how it breaks. And that was my job, was to figure out any possible way this thing could break and endanger our astronauts. And of course, how to fix it. And so I worked in mission control. So I spent my days training them in classes. And then when they would launch and go to the ISS and actually do their spacewalk, myself and my team sit in mission control and we're watching over them. And I'm sitting at my desk and I've got 6 massive monitors in front of me with just wall-to-wall data coming down, everything about the health of the spacesuits, their power, their oxygen, carbon dioxide. And I'm watching them like a hawk, 2 of them at the same time. And we're talking to our teams, keeping them safe, making sure they've got what they need to be successful, and trying to predict into the future. Okay, what is it going to look like in 2 hours from now? Is it going to be dangerous? Can we risk doing this extra thing we kind of decide we want to do? And so that was incredible. I loved that part of the job. And then just last year, I switched over now to the research side of the house. We're focused on the moon, and spacewalks on the moon are going to be very different than what they've been with the International Space Station. So we are asking those questions of what does it mean to be a human being in a brand new spacesuit that's being developed, walking and working on the moon. And it's going to be different the way it was in the Apollo era. And so we have to take the lessons that we've learned from those early moonwalks and improve upon them so we can answer the question, how hard, how long can we push a human being in a spacesuit on the moon? So we're literally running research experiments. I get to play mad scientist, and we put together these research proposals, and then we get them funded, and we go, okay, we're off and doing it. We've got mock-up lunar environments, mock-up spacesuits, still working with the astronauts, and say, okay, here's your task, and we're going to sit there, we're going to time you, or we're going to count, and we're going to have all the data from this experiment. We're going to assess it, and that's going to then help inform how we're going to do life on the moon.
Do you watch a lot of space movies and say, that's rubbish? Like, that's like, you know, where the suit tears or something and they put duct tape around it, and like, you there like, no, that can't happen.
Yes, oh, I know. I'm terrible about it. We all are, admittedly. We have to go in knowing, okay, suspend reality, don't say anything, wait till the end. But the whole time, sometimes I'm like, not how that works. It impresses me when they do get it right. I'm like, yes, thank you. You obeyed, physics in this scenario. And then other scenes that go, I'm like, no, you had it so good, and now you went Hollywood. I'm like, okay, it's just a movie, but...
Is it all jumping as you see it in, like, the movies? Like, big jumping on the moon,
on the
at
moon,
least,
yes,
anyway.
yes. If you've ever seen any footage from the Apollo moonwalks where there's boing, 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 yeah, it's 1/6 gravity, yeah. So just enough gravity, but you're still going to bounce considerably. And so you got to think about that when you're building a spacesuit, and you're going to, the spacesuits normally weigh 300, almost 400 pounds here on Earth. And while it's only going to weigh, right there, they're heavy. It's like wearing a little spaceship when you think about it. And even though you're going to be on the moon and it's only 1/6 of that, 50, 60 pounds maybe, you still got to think about bouncing around with a 50-pound backpack-ish on your back. What's that going to do to your center of gravity? And so when you watch those Apollo footage videos, you'll see the astronauts bouncing, and all of a sudden they fall forward, and you see them kind of flailing. And then they really struggle to get back up in many cases because the suits back then were not designed for the mobility that they really needed. And I remember listening to a lot of the interviews with the moonwalkers, and they talked about they were a little worried they couldn't get back up because you could see them trying to struggle, and they'd push off and they'd kind of flail and then fall back down again. So again, it's all those human factor considerations of how do you be a human being on the moon and perform at your best. And so, yeah, it's a lot of fun. So
go into the voice acting. So you've been doing it for a while now. What was it like hearing your own voice back to start with? I mean, that must, when you hear your voice, it's never what you imagine it to sound like. I'm well aware of this fact. So what was it like for you?
So it is interesting. I don't know, maybe I'm weird like that. Hearing my own voice doesn't bother me at all. But I do hear the difference now when I go back and I've listened to some of my earlier files, and I'm like, oh, that's not good at all. But I got a great review on the job, so I guess that's great, but also, ugh. And then there's others I'm like, okay, I can hear. Definitely, I was a little new back then, didn't quite know a lot of the tricks and tips that I know now. So yeah, you approach it with a little bit of grace. And I know, give me fast forward 10 years from now, I'll be looking back on what I'm recording now going, oh. I was just joking with my friends that I've gone from, I can't believe they hired me to, oh, God, I can't believe they hired me for that.
Oh, no. What's your process? Do you have any rituals that you do before? Are you gargling anything? Or
It depends on what's being asked, but I always have at least a glass of water in here. I have some mouth spray to help lubricate if I'm getting a little too just sticky in the mouth. And then other than that, I'm reading through the script. It depends if it's going to be more of a performative script versus just a like talking, natural conversational script. And then I try to just talk my normal self because that's what I've been hired to do, not sound announcery or performery. I just look at the computer and I tell myself, hey, I'm talking to a great friend and I've got this really cool thing I just read about and I want to tell them all about this cool product, you know. And then if it is more of a character style nature, I try to find memories or experiences that I've had that maybe relate to that moment, if it's anger or sadness or unbridled giddiness, and like try to get those feelings going again so I can get it to come out in my voice.
Do you do a lot of elocution to yourself? Are you the rain in Spain and trying different things like that?
Especially in the morning when I'm getting going, you'll hear me around the house going, oh, and I'm just like trying to like literally stretch the cheek muscles. Yeah. Oh, I sound ridiculous. Absolutely. If anybody walked in, they'd think I've lost it because I'm just making all these absolute ridiculous faces and noises and just kind of like pacing around my house until I feel like I've warmed up a bit. And maybe try a couple of tongue twisters, again, just to see if I can do it without stumbling. And then, all right, here we go. Hit the microphone. Inevitably, the first take, it's always, oh my gosh, and immediately flub it out of the gate. And I feel like that's like part of the ritual now. As long as I flub it first thing out of the gate, the rest of the session's going to go great.
And how did it feel to receive the award nomination for One Voice?
I just picked this up a few years ago on something of a whim just to do a fun and side hobby. And if you told me then in a few years you're going to be an award-nominated voice actor, I don't know. I'm still processing it. I got an excited text from one of my good friends. He's in the industry. And he sent me the screenshot. He goes, when were you going to tell me you were nominated? I'm like, wait, what? I just woke up. I'm all blurry out. I'm trying to like, did I read that right? And oh my gosh, I mean, I knew I submitted for it, but I mean, honestly, it's my first time submitting. I'm not going to actually believe it's going to go through anything. And then a day later after that, I get the email. Oh my gosh, it's real, you know? So my brain is still reeling from it. And, I'm literally, it's an honor just to be nominated. I know that's so cliche, but I'm over here just giddy as heck to just be nominated by this.
So your tagline on Voice 123 is that you do terrible puns.
Oh yes.
So
I love my terrible puns.
So what's one of the worst puns? I want to hear some of these puns. What's the worst pun?
So I try to incorporate my NASA career as part of my branding, just to kind of help stand out a little bit. And so I tried to throw in a lot of space puns when I can. So I would say things like, you know, my quality is astronomical, and you might even say the results are out of this world. And I love a good bad joke. The badder, the better.
My kids would love that. I love the dad jokes. I'm consistently anything that comes up, I'll dad joke it, and yeah, I get the eye roll every time. So
they're
just
so
don't like
good.
it.
So yeah, I just tried to incorporate this into my branding to help me stand out, because again, when I first got started, I was thinking, who am I to just waltz into this world? I've got no theater, communications, performance training, nothing. And how do I stand out? Because I'm looking at all these other profiles of these very established actors, and they've all got that kind of thing. I've worked in radio, I've worked in communication, and then I came across this one tutorial where the actor talked about, I used to work in a mechanic shop for 20 years, and I incorporated that into my brand as like, you know, I know how to pick apart an engine, I can pick apart a script. And I was like, well, that's a good idea, okay. So I started figuring out what can I pull from my NASA experience to really help brand me and set me out from the rest of the pack. So with that also comes my quality, bad humor puns, and I can weave in some space references. Because that's fun too.
So you still want to be an astronaut? Yes. I heard at the beginning.
Yes, very much so.
You still want to do that?
Yes.
And you obviously got your voice career. So what's the dream?
Oh man, record from space. How amazing would that be? On the moon, in my spare time, I'm recording voiceovers, and I'm trying to account for lunar noise, you know, getting it out of the background.
I think you should do a sci-fi movie.
Yes, that would be, oh my gosh, what a beautiful harmony of those two passions. I've gotten to do some like sci-fi scripts and video game characters too, and so that's been a lot of fun. I've had some, I think somebody came to me and they wanted me to play, it was like a kind of like a space cowboy themed script, and it's based on the moon. And I'm like, oh, you're talking my language. Give me all of this, you know. And they're like, okay, here's your character. Here's her mojo and MO. I'm like, I got this. And that was so much fun. Yeah, playing a space cowboy on the moon.
So I got some fast fire questions for you if you're up for them today. NASA engineer or voiceover artist? I think you've already said you want both, so it's kind of been acted and answered. Most awkward thing you've ever had to say in a voiceover?
Every now and then there will be a line, something about the way the script is written, the specific order of the words, and maybe the back-to-back pronunciations of it, and I just can't nail it, and I'm flubbing it every single time, and I'm sitting here in the booth just like, come on, Eryn, like, get it together. And it can be so infuriating because at face value it's the most simple sentence, and then you're like, why can I not say this? So I find the best thing I'd have to do is just stop the recording and say it slowly, one word at a time, until I feel I can get the rhythm without sounding like a robot, and then try to pick back up.
As someone who consistently every week reads a monologue that is pages long, I know what you mean. So, voice warm-ups, pro level or totally winging it?
Totally winging it. I mean, I've heard tips and tricks about but I've never had any formal training on how to warm up, other than just what I've gleaned from listening to the other professionals in the industry, and everybody's got their own ritual. So as I said, you'll just see me going around the house going, wow, 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 making all these weird faces. I really should record myself one of these days. Some like behind the scenes footage of me getting ready would be ridiculous.
What's harder, hitting deadlines at NASA or hitting the right tone on a 30-second ad?
Hitting the right tone on a 30-second ad. Because it's inevitably, I'm hearing it one way in my head, but the customer is like, no, that's just not right. But I don't know how to describe what it is that I want, but I know that's not it. And you're like, okay, what could they want? Let's try it like this. Let's try it like that. And you're just trying all these different things, and it's just like miss. And, you know, you're starting to get the anxiety of, oh my God, this customer is going to think that I don't know what I'm doing. And it's, okay, keep it together. And so, I mean, I worked in mission control and are some pretty tense moments, but I think this is worse.
If your voice had a superpower, what would it be?
If my voice had a superpower, I'd like to go with healing. I could heal you just by the vibrations of my voice. Let's go with that.
Ooh. And is there an echo sound that comes back and helps people as well?
Yeah, maybe like a therapy or something. We got to stick you in an echo chamber, and I just talk to you like this until you feel better.
Have you ever used your voiceover skills to prank anyone?
Not yet. Well, okay, so there's this one thing I like to do just to mess with my coworkers. When they call my desk phone, I'll pick it up and in my best voice, thank you for calling the NASA hotline. How may I direct your call? And there's always just this dead silence on the other end for a good like 5-7 seconds. And I'm like, hey, Bob, it's Eryn. What do you need? You know? And they're like, I just thought I dialed the wrong number. So they're like, they don't have an NASA hotline.
Favorite part of the voiceover booth, silence, snacks, or solitude?
I like, maybe the silence and the space. I've got a really good cozy space in here, and when I close my door, it does a great job of shutting out the world, and it puts me in that zone of, okay, we're here to focus and work now, and I just like the way it gives me this bubble of silence. And then when I open the door, I've welcomed all the noise of the world back in again. So it's a neat mental transition, and I like it. It's cozy in here. It's like playing a fort, you know?
I love it. Would you rather voice an alien or a toaster? That's an interesting one.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking of like the Brave Little Toaster. That is clearly a case of an animated voiced toaster. Great movie. I would go alien. Alien, being the ever-loving science nerd, I gotta go alien.
So what's next for you, Eryn? What's coming up? What's the future hold?
I am working on a video game. Can't tell too much because of, NDA. But the creator is extremely excited about this and thinks it's going to be big. And the character that I've been asked to do is an absolute riot. I'm sorry, I can't tell you any more than that, but she's got some crazy lines, some very adult-rated humor, and I'm cracking up, like reading the script, going, this person's crazy, but she's like crazy like a fox, kind of fun, and it's great because then it's fun and easy to get into character, and then I can really get some of those qualities to come through in my voice, like when it's like, she needs to act maniacal in this scene. I'm like, I got you, because what she just said, like, oh my God. So, and so, yeah, it's a lot of fun getting to voice that one. And so I'm really excited to see that one to come to fruition and hit the main video game space and hopefully hit it big. Ideally, the goal for me as a voice actor, I keep saying I'd love to be some lower ranked celebrity that's been invited to Comic-Con to come sign booths, because I've played a few obscure characters in some well-known video games, and that just qualifies me enough to go to Comic-Con. Like, that would be so cool.
I have no doubt whatsoever you are going to make it there, Eryn. You have the right attitude and the right voice. Thank you so much for your time today. Where would you like your details for anyone who wants to get hold of you? Do you want them up or down or left
maybe
or
over
right?
Here. I think I've got some good room up there.
Up.
We're up there, yeah.
Okay, we'll go there. This is where all of Eryn's details can be found if you want to get in touch with her. We're going to be back right after these messages.
Oh, the devil lives below, and he tells me where to go. I said I want to see the Dave Benson Show, and I can't stop and never gonna let it go. I said I want to see the Dave Benson Show, and I can't stop and never gonna let it go. I said I want to see the Dave Benson Show, and I can't stop and never gonna let it go. I said I want to see the Dave Benson Show, and I can't stop and never gonna let it go. I said I want to see the Dave Benson Show, and I can't stop and never gonna let it go. I said I want to see the Dave Benson Show, and I can't stop and never gonna let it go.
All right, you better hit subscribe now, or I'm going to turn this show into a live reading of my grocery list. Now, don't test me on this. Couscous is on there twice.